Good evening, you're watching News Mongolian World. I'm your host, Tan Rambatar. And for top stories, Mongolia's energy sector saw 77 billion MNT in losses in 2021. IFC supports better mining data usage and building digital skills in Mongolian communities. Developing Mongolia's free economic zones, and for the news, stay tuned. Currently, 130.5 hectares of the 500 hectares available at the Altamolda free trade zones are used by business entities. Business licenses are available for the use of 34.6 hectares, in addition to the 188.4 hectares that have already been reserved. According to authorities, licenses were issued between 2018 and 2019.
Although a readiness assessment is being carried out in the trade zone, corresponding feasibility studies haven't been conducted. In 2003, a detailed environmental assessment was completed. General and master plans were also developed but not approved. The Ministry of Economy and Development and the Ministry of Construction and Urban Development are now developing new plans.
As we know, the free economic zone has been stalled for 2 decades. I think investors should be more involved. They should cooperate with the government and influence decision-making. The private sector and the government should cooperate if necessary. We suggest establishing a consortium of private entities to address the issue that government has not resolved in the last 25 years. Then we will be able to conduct good management and attract the necessary investment.
The Taanor Free Economic Zone has an area of 708.5 hectares and 9 entities registered to operate there. In Zamiut, with 900 hectares available, 101.9 hectares are in use by 81 entities. Plans were developed for the zone's development in 2011, and they are now in the final stage of review.
Many companies and several cabinets have tried for several years to launch the free economic zone. I think it's important to promote the activity of free economic zones. The neighboring country is also launching its free economic zone, so we should also consider such factors and develop our free economic zone in unison with our neighboring country's economic situation.
There are several challenges to successfully developing the country's free economic zones. Mutual agreements have to be reached with Mongolia's neighbors, and investors' suggestions have to be considered. Ensuring stable policies, transitioning to a public-private system, and deciding on models for investment and governance need to be decided through discussions with investors.
80% of the electricity Mongolia consumes is produced by coal-fired power plants. 4% is produced by diesel generators, 3% by renewable energy sources, and the remaining 13% is imported.
Last year, the Mongolian energy sector operated with more than 70 billion Mongolian turuks in losses. Imports make up 70% of energy for the western region's 5 provinces. In 2016, Mongolia paid around 6 billion Mongolian turuks for imported electricity. In 2022, spending is expected to reach 23 billion. Industry experts note the importance of creating new sources of energy.
There are some challenges related to the railroad transport of the coal required for producing energy. Even the mining companies that extract coal are facing financial challenges. The western region imports electricity, and the subsidies allocated for electricity import are growing by 20% a year. This year we have to pay approximately 23 billion MNT. Why shouldn't we invest the same amount of money into a project that will have long-term benefits for Mongolia?
The Irtenburun hydroelectric power plant is expected to produce 366 million kilowatt-hours of electricity per year for the Alta-Ulasta regional power system. Power Construction Corporation of China Limited and Power China Chengdu Engineering Corporation Limited were selected to build the plant with an installed capacity of 90 megawatts. Construction will start in 2022 and is scheduled to be completed in 2026 for a 2027 launch of operations.
The investors are currently conducting a risk assessment. After the assessment is complete, the company will introduce the results to the Chinese authorities to make their final decision about the investment.
No households or businesses occupying the 111.2 hectares in Irtenburun and Myangat zones of Hof province, where the main plant facility will be built. but the Ministry of Energy still needs to secure the land that will be affected by the plant's operations in 2026. There are 1,251 residents in 270 households that need to be relocated. If the issue of compensation is resolved, it will be possible to relocate these households in 2022 and 2023. The project is currently owned by the government of Mongolia. The plant's reservoir capacity is planned to be 1,200 million cubic meters. The project is expected to generate 366 kilowatts of electricity. The project cost is expected to be around $286.1 million US.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
President of Mongolia, Hurasuk, had a telephone call with the President of the Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda. The presidents shared their views on a wide range of relations and cooperation issues. They praised the results of the political consultations between the Mongolia-Poland Intergovernmental Commission and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which are important mechanisms for bilateral dialogue. They both expressed confidence in their contributions to achieving the development goals of both countries. Emphasizing the importance of people-to-people relations, President Hurasuk thanked Poland's government and its people for their constant support for Mongolians living in Poland. This year, Poland will be opening an embassy in Mongolia. And the National Finance Corporation has signed an agreement with the Ministry of Mining and Heavy Industry on building digital skills in Mongolia to spur the greater use and understanding of existing data for the benefit of mining communities. IFC will provide technical assistance to the ministry on best practices for employing open data to meet the information needs of local communities about mining and improve the digital skills capacity of local officials, communities, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders using available data. It was noted that information sharing is critical to achieving the government of Mongolia's goal of building a transparent and responsible mining sector in line with the nation's long-term development policy, Vision 2050. The IFC's work is part of its global From Disclosure to Development program.
Here's the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at our regular feature on sports. The Mongolian national basketball team will play in the qualifying round of the 2025 Asian Games in Mongolia. Sri Lanka's Group D qualifiers were set to take place in Sri Lanka in June, but have been relocated due to internal problems. As a result, Mongolia became the next host country. The Mongolian national basketball team is in Group D with 3 other countries, Thailand, Malaysia and Vietnam. The Fury competition between the 4 teams will take place in Ulaanbaatar city from June 2nd to June 4th. Mongolian national team, which has not participated in international competitions since the 2018 Asian Games in Jakarta, is currently in training. The last time an international 5 vs 5 basketball tournament was held in Mongolia was in 2016. At the time, the 6th Asian Students' Men Basketball Tournament was held in Ulaanbaatar city, and the Mongolian student national team was victorious. Mongolia have never played in the Asia Cup and didn't participate in the previous Asia Cup pre-qualifiers, but it would be foolish to count them out. There are some underrated talents lurking in Mongolia's talent pools, allowing them to perform in the international competitions, such as the Asian Games, where they finished in 8th place in 2014. The 24th Summer Olympic Games for the Deaf were held in the Caxias do Sul, Brazil, from May 1st to 15th. 2,401 athletes from 73 countries took part in the Games. It combined won a gold medal in the 65 kg weight category in freestyle wrestling. 3 Mongolian wrestlers participated in the Deaflympic Games in freestyle wrestling under the guidance of Batushik, coach and master of sports of Orkhanga Province's Sports and Physical Education Department. It combined an athlete from Orkhanga Province, a silver medalist of the Samsung 2017 Deaflympics, a youth gold medalist in the 65 kg weight category, became the Deaflympic champion. He defeated Kazakhstan's first freestyle wrestler in the quarterfinals 9-6, Iran's Rastamabad 9-1 in the semifinals, to which he had lost 4 years ago in the Samsung, and Kyrgyzstan's Isakov 14-4 in the finals. Ochbadrel, the honored athlete, brought home the first gold medal in judo for Mongolian judokas at Taipei 2009, and 13 years later Irkhanbayr became the second champion in freestyle wrestling. In addition, Chinzoruk, a silver medalist of the previous Deaflympic Games, took 7th place in the 70 kg weight category, while Batwater took 5th place in the 74 kg weight category. Here's the weather forecast of world's major cities. Well, that's all for today, and thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.